Hey, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monte the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
It's Monte and the Pharaoh.
The Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and Pharaoh, bro.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famers, Out Rucker, Marty Jannetty, and MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
It's Monte and the Pharaoh.
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 And Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monte and the Pharaoh?
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're gonna get it, right here.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Duh. I'm having a wonderful time with Monte the Pharaoh, and I'm gonna put him in a crossface chicken, and he's gonna go down right now. Yeah.
Hey! Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare! And you're watching the #1 show on Long Island with Monte and the Pharaoh.
By the way, that other show, it's taped. Marty gets high. He mumbles a couple of things about something in the past. The host asks some more stupid questions. He mumbles a little more, and then the show ends. All right, next.
You take my credit card, mother.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV, straight out of Long Island, New York. Little news on legend Terry Funk. Some news had come out that he was getting close to the end.
Doing really badly,
and he was doing very poorly.
All right.
He was in an assisted living home and was diagnosed with dementia. We got to meet Mr. Funk.
Yeah.
A couple of years back.
Sure did.
Can you talk about maybe your thoughts on Terry Funk? And again, we're hoping, coming off of the Paul Orndorff thing and this, we're hoping for the best here.
Yeah, you don't have guys like Mick Foley without Terry Funk. Terry Funk is one of the truly toughest guys that ever participated in this sport.
By the way, C.J. Duncan says Pharaoh bought out Gorilla Monsoon's portion of Puerto Rico, since you love that so much.
Yeah, there you go. Wait a minute, where did I get the money, bro? I got the money for that. Terry Funk, man. I remember when we met him too. You could tell that Terry was struggling with the mental facilities. His wife was still alive at the time, and she was a real sweetheart. And I remember it was really strange because he was signing for people. For some reason, he got very interested in the Pharaoh's band. And he wanted to know about Wisteria Hall, and he wanted to know about us working with Eddie Kramer from Zeppelin. And he was so interested in it. And I felt bad almost, because I felt a little awkward because there were other people waiting to talk to him. And he was really enjoying the conversation. I could see his wife signal to me. Trying to get him back. No, that was fine, because I let her know I agree. There's other people and stuff. Terry, meanwhile, was like, whoa, how did it go? I love Eddie Kramer, great work and stuff. It was just, Terry was so nice.
Todd B. Kraft, Terry was great in Roadhouse. He was great in Roadhouse, and I think that Sly Stallone movie with the arm wrestling, Over the Top, he was good in that. Former WWE star Aleister Black debuts in a shocker last night on AEW as Malik Black.
Did he kick
Malika
anybody?
Black.
Did he throw one of his kicks?
That's pretty much what he did.
That's it. That's what he does. He kicks, and he kicks some more, and he kicks. I don't know, man. I don't think it's world changing. I know that he has his fans, and I understand that. I actually have been a fan of his before, but I kind of got bored with Alistair Kick. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I kind of
What
did.
what is look? I'm not a huge AEW fan. I'm
Right.
just not. Okay,
yeah, I get it.
And maybe
like
it's because it's
aspects
the
of it.
home. It's the homer in me about the WWE.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a little bit of
Well,
a
they
homer.
don't stand a chance. But that's, we both know that.
But
Go on.
I'm trying to figure out what's the game plan. You keep bringing these old WWE guys in, right, that get let go.
Yeah.
And then the other ones that you brought in 3 weeks before that get pushed to the side.
Right. And it's not really very. Look.
Is it shock value?
I don't know what it is. I just think that they're. Are they really any different than WCW or any of the other ones that operated this way? Let's just take Vince's leftovers and hope for the best. That's how it feels to me. Sometimes.
You know what?
I mean, there are some other great things about AEW I do like MJF.
I really think that AEW is a legitimate threat. Just because I've never seen so much hatred for the WWE that I see from.
That's true. We should
from
never
the wrestling
underestimate
fan.
that. That is true. That is true. And they are in the ballpark. Remember I said to you when this whole thing first started that because of WWE not having great ratings like they did back in the day, 2 million, I said to you when this whole thing started, hey, they get 1 million, they're in the game. And they've gotten 1 million from time to time with the views, and they're in the game.
They're in the game, especially since Raw's ratings are just dumping,
I still
right?
don't think they stand a chance at the end of the day because they are fighting Godzilla, and, King Kong can't breathe fire. Oh, shot at King Kong across the Japanese
There you
bow.
go. There you go. And also, we've talked about this, right? When you've been a known commodity for so long, it's very hard to break through.
That's true, but
Right?
they've done a good job, though. I mean, they've only been around a couple of years now, right? They've done a good job. But I just don't do cartwheels for some of their, the guys on the roster. And the main event was a tag match, Eddie Kingston and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
By the way, man,
Nah.
I'm not getting this whole Eddie Kingston thing, man.
what are you talking
Ahmed
about?
says MJF is awesome. That guy cracks me up. MJF is good,
great.
man. He's very
great.
good.
I love him. I think he's great. I'm an Omega fan. I know you're not.
I'm not an Omega
I know
guy.
You're not.
Can't stand Omega.
I love Kenny Omega. I think he's great. I think he would have been greater if he had come to Vince's. But then again, we all know what Vince may or may not have done with him. Who knows? He didn't do it to AJ, so maybe he wouldn't have
But
done
go
it
back
to
to
Kenny.
that other clown.
Maybe.
Go back to that other clown that you were just talking
clown?
about.
There's a lot of clowns.
The clown in the tag team match.
Yeah. Oh, Kingston.
Kingston.
What are you mad at him for? He delivered your milk every day last week. What are you upset about? What is he, Kevin Owens light to you? Because I know how you feel about Kevin Owens. I mean,
802 says
I love
out there,
Kevin
AEW are something else, though. They think no other wrestling exists and
true.
don't dare to say they messed something up. It's crazy.
right.
Well, I think like a lot of things out there, 802 and everybody, is that if you act like it didn't happen,
Right.
maybe it'll go away.
Right.
Hey, that's a good segue.
Can we talk about that? Maybe it'll go.
It's a little bit of a segue.
Wait,
Not yet,
okay.
though. Not
All right.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Back to Kingston.
Oh, I thought we were going to get into that fake punch Jericho threw at the guy who ran into the ring.
Yeah, real quick. Talk about that's another thing. We were watching that video.
Yeah.
That was a fake punch with a fake fan.
You have to see the right video with the right angle. It's ridiculous.
It's fake.
Stop.
It's fake. We all got worked
Yeah,
again.
That was pretty funny.
We got worked again.
Yeah, that was
Then
pretty
people, no, that was real. No, that was another work with a fake punch and everything else.
Speaking of getting work, did you know that there are people who stay up after midnight to write things about the Pharaoh?
I heard that.
I am impressed.
Hey,
I'm impressed.
you're making your mark.
Wow.
You're making your mark. We had some fallout from last Thursday.
What did you do?
When we interviewed-
What did I do? What did you do?
We had future WWE Hall of Famer, at least in our mind.
Oh, yeah. He'll be-
Marty
one day.
Jannetty.
Yeah,
To
definitely.
speak about an incident that happened on another channel. Really wouldn't have been too interested in it.
No.
But then I had a lot of people reaching out to me and the show and saying, hey,
Right.
this video was up and you got to see it.
There
and
we
this
were.
is what happened.
Minding our own business.
Right.
Which we were.
And we
Go on.
thought that it's only the right thing to do is pick up the phone. Mm-hmm. Say, what's up, Marty? Right? Because, we know quite a few people.
How you doing, Mikey? Yep.
And we said, hey, what happened? And he went into it. I said, you know what? Why don't you just come on the show? And
Yeah.
he said, absolutely, Monty.
Right.
And
Because
he came
Marty
on.
Jannetty, you deserve a forum.
That's right.
Go on.
So
No, silence him! Silence him! Don't let him say anything! Freedom of speech must die! Yeah! I'm sorry.
I thought the interview went off well. I thought basically the two guys, the guy from Boston Wrestling. Since he won't use our name, we won't use his, so we'll be fair there. Now, that damn Marati.
And he has potty mouth, by the way.
He does have potty mouth.
We haven't said one four-letter thing involving this creature of foulness. Not one four-letter thing.
So-
Keeping it clean. Potty mouth.
Marati was on his show talking about the Marty thing with the whole, Marty's got all these problems, but I'm a friend of his. Marty needs to go to rehab, and he's a danger to people. And I'm not using exact words, so if anyone's out there that's trolling this
I
whole
love
thing,
you, but you're an absolute f***up.
right, pretty much, right?
Okay, there we go.
Or I really
I'm
don't
loving-
love you. In fact, I love the fact that you're a f*** up because then I can make money off of you. But then when you kind of call me out on a video, which is from what I understand happened, I never saw the video.
Right.
I'm going to pull it down so no one has it.
And
So
you
Marty
never
has his
will?
points, right?
Right.
So we have this interview. It seems okay. And then I was like, it's kind of a long interview.
Yeah,
A
sure.
lot of people watched it.
Yeah.
But let's do a condensed version, like our cable version, right? But
Absolutely.
before our cable version.
Right,
And I
right.
said, let's just get the bullet points that Marty said.
Right.
Well, that didn't seem to go over well with Marati. He thought
I
that...
thought it went fantastic.
Well, so did I.
Okay, well, that takes care of that.
So he didn't like it.
Sorry. Of course.
And we're trying to give a forum. We're not trying to cause heat, but don't you want to hear? I mean, I think this is all about. You want to hear the truth. Right. And then you want to be able to make your decision. Mm-hmm. Right?
It goes like this for me. From what I've seen of this person, who I won't call curse words, who did it, the other way, sent curse words flying the other way. What bothers me about the guy in Boston is the MO, his how he operates, and it seems to me that he gets a hold of guys like Tony Atlas, Marty Jannetty, the Iron Sheik. There's been others, Kamala, who I understand he called Kamala a... If you notice with all these guys, Marty, and everyone I mentioned, Tony, Sheik, Kamala, all down on their luck a lot of the time. Okay, remember what my partner said a lot, you can't have it both ways. You can't start calling them a bunch of crackheads and losers and junkies and then love them to death and then get mad when they want to share how they've been mistreated. Okay? So let's remember that. But it bothers me that he seems to get a hold of guys who've had a lot of problems. And then he brings in these guys who are desperate for cash, obviously. And then he has them in for hours and hours of block time to just get the most, like a sponge. Let me get the most out of this sponge that I can. These are people. It was really about Marty being allowed to speak his piece, and we let him.
Marty Jannetty gets paid to go sit there for 6 hours, and he makes that agreement, and he signs on the dotted line or whatever kind of agreement. That's fine. That's all well and good.
Absolutely.
But you know what? There comes a time you can't sit there and go, this guy needs help, he's high all the time, and call it, like you said 2 weeks ago, a Marty party. What are you expecting?
The title of the did you guys ever at home think about that? Party with Marty, the Marty Party. And I had said to my partner earlier this week, before the great Scott Whalen had passed away from Stone Temple Pilots, let's just pretend Monte and the Pharaoh does a music podcast. And we book Scott Whalen to be on. Nice blocks time to time. He's part of the show. He's part of the channel. Would you like us to call it Shooting with Scott?
25 years ago this week, the new world order was born. The group's roots were planned 6 weeks earlier on May 27th when Scott Hall, formerly Razor Ramon of the World Wrestling Federation, invaded an episode of WCW Nitro.
Know who I am.
1 week later, Hall returned to Nitro to reissue his challenge. This time, he was confronted by the franchise star Sting. 1 week after that, Nash brought in a little surprise, right?
That was a big surprise.
And then you have the Great American Bash, where they throw our friend Bischoff
That was great.
through the floor. And then you have Bash on the beach,
So
where
this is where the big boys play.
Hulk Hogan is revealed as the third member. So we know the key players, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan. Let's start off with this.
What about the guy that took the massive beating during that, Macho Man?
Yeah.
I mean, my
absolutely.
God. There's some major players in that whole thing.
802 for life, baby. Would the NWO have worked if anybody but Hulk Hogan was the third member, Pharaoh?
No.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's your answer?
That's my answer. What is there? Should be something else? Oh, wow, they should have had Orange
Why?
Cassidy.
No.
Orange Cassidy leading the NWO, and he can't even do the too sweet thing because his hands are in his pockets.
Come on,
it should
man.
be Hogan, of course. Dude, it was the whole thing was about the greatest, most professionally popular wrestler in the world. He's so popular. He was the most popular wrestler ever. Going bad? What do you mean? What are you talking about? I remember the next day at work, people were like, they didn't even watch wrestling. Hulk Hogan has gone bad. Regular people like freaking out about it. That was so major, and no, it never would have worked without Hogan. It was all about Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Back then when that was happening, did you know Hogan was the third man? Because I keep hearing something, and again, fans out there, please fill me in. It's like I keep on thinking.
I think that's,
someone says that Bobby Heenan kind of gave it away. Do you remember that?
What Bobby did was, as Hogan is coming out, Bobby goes, "Is he the third man?" What are you doing that for?
But what's wrong with that?
Because you gotta wait for him to do the move and turn on them. You don't go, "Is he the third man?" Even slightly planting it into someone's head was wrong to do. He should have been going, "He's out here to put a stop to this. He's out there to save Macho." Instead, is he the third man? And this is one of the greatest guys ever.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, wait a minute. He had the feud with Hogan, like from AWA to WWE to WCW.
Yeah.
So he had natural heat with Hogan. I don't know. I didn't take it that way.
I don't think that it was a wise thing to do. But I got to be honest. At the time, I wasn't like, yeah, you know what? He did make me go to myself, is he the third man? But no one could ever believe it, even with that little seed that Bobby was questioning, is he the third man? The moment he drops that leg, the whole world goes nuts as far as the wrestling world. That was a shock and a half. Because in the beginning, the NWO was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
they
they're
tried
outsiders,
and then they
right?
tried to get the idiot up in Boston to join, and the whole thing fell apart.
It's gonna keep going.
Well, until the show's over. After that, I could care
Do
less.
you think the NWO would have gotten over if Dan Marotti was the third member?
I don't think that Ted Turner would have kept them on television for another episode. That would have been the end.
Do you think
Paul Heyman would have been asked to bring ECW to TNT, and ECW would have won the war? ECW.
Do you think Marotti wouldn't liked some of the videos, so he'd ask them to take it down?
You're just gonna keep going, aren't you?
You started.
At the time, again, no matter what little thing Bobby said, trust me, very irrelevant at the time when it was happening. And I was at a part, we're all watching it when he dropped that leg. And I remember half the room was like, and the other half was like me. Oh my God, yeah! Because I wanted to see Hogan do this. I was like, oh my God, he's going to really do it. He's going to be a bad guy. It's been how many years? Honestly, over 10, probably almost 15 since he was with Blassie, with the cape, and hurting people, and being a and I loved him as a bad guy before he ever made it as a good guy. So I've always loved the guy. He was always in my top
Modern
five.
Day Warrior says Hogan stole everything from superstar Billy Graham, even the same color beard.
Okay.
So we've spoken about this, right?
Okay.
So modern.
Does that mean that Superstar Graham was going to carry the company into the WrestleMania era?
That's the problem.
Please, no.
That's the problem.
It's okay. You know, it is what it is. I mean, while we're at it, Superstar Billy Graham should probably cut a check to guys like Buddy Rogers. You owe him money. Oh, Gorgeous George, who started the whole thing. Wrestlers, I want to be a show.
Hogan, the greatest
know?
wrestler of all time.
He's the most popular, most influential, most impactful, and changed the business more so than anyone else ever freaking has. Period. And that's how I feel about that. The only one who can rival him, and it's a short little time period, which goes to show it's still not comparable with Stone Cold.
Great comment.
Do you
Great
realize
comment.
that Hulk Hogan, from 1980 wrestling Andre at Shea Stadium, all the way through to The Rock at WrestleMania, whatever that was, I want to say 18, with The Rock, you're talking 22 years. This wasn't my neck hurts, I'm going home. What? This was 22 years of this. And then he still continued with matches like, I love the flip-flop fish fest with Shawn Michaels. I find that hilarious. I love that match. You know, I love when Hogan got his last match with Randy. Hogan, I've always enjoyed Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan is the greatest, most impactful man that's ever stepped between the ropes. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do?
Did the NWO ruin wrestling?
No, of course not. Without the NWO, do you think we've got the factions that are going on between MJF and Chris Jericho right now? What? Without them? What are we talking here?
Do you think that Cena is in the same ballpark? Is he in the same
As Hulk
room?
Hogan?
Is he in the same car?
You know what? In my world,
By the way, Stinger 10 says you're right on the money. He knows his stuff. You know your stuff.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. I gotta be honest.
Ralph Run says WWE ruined pro wrestling.
Oh, stop it. Don't cut
Ralph,
that
we love
out.
you, man, but gotta disagree
Stop.
with that, dude. The
What,
WWE,
TNA's great
the
for
W,
wrestling?
the WWE, the WWE hating's got to stop.
No,
Look,
it
the
doesn't.
products.
If that's how they feel, let them
Yeah, but the
feel that
product's
way.
not at its best right now. But I mean, if it wasn't for
No.
the WWE, you wouldn't have Monte the Pharaoh, probably.
Yeah, wait a minute. To me, the two greatest wrestlers ever, just to me, are Hogan and Flair. I don't feel like anyone else is in the ball.
You can't put. Look, dude.
Well, you can say I can't, but I look at it this way. Hogan and Flair are pro wrestling, in my opinion, from basically 1981 or so, all the way to 1996 at least. At least. You're going to tell me that Austin and The Rock carried the sport 15 years? Nope. You're going to tell me that CM Punk carried it? I barely carried it 15 months, and he gave Vince the finger.
People don't want to talk bad about Nick Bockwinkel, right? Nick Bockwinkel
I
was great.
Nick Bockwinkel.
No, he wasn't. But you know what? You can't say it because people go, "What are you kidding me? He was the
can say
greatest.
it.
He was the greatest." Or if you
Shock
say
the audience. Who do you like more, Miz or Nick Bockwinkel? Shock.
Miz.
There you go.
There you go.
You're entitled to that.
All right, but so let's talk about Flair for a minute.
Yeah, go
Flair is great.
Yes.
Okay? But we got to remember something. The legend of Ric Flair may or not have been a legend. I'm going to give you a little timeline. If Kerry Von Erich couldn't get his act together, or he did get his act together, Ric Flair's done. Nature Boy, Buddy Landell, was going to be teed up as the new champion. He couldn't do it because he's all drugged up.
That's not.
So
that's,
Flair keeps going.
Okay.
Because, you know.
Well, what did we learn about Bob Backlund? When we were saying to ourselves back in the day, how come the belt's not on Snooker? Or how come the belt's not on Valentine? Or how come the belt's not? Because Ric Flair, like Bob Backlund, was the responsible guy who would tour tirelessly all year round, show up for all the dates. Someone tries to take the belt from him, good luck. I don't know, man. Again, to me, those two, you do realize Hogan and Flair are like bacon and eggs.
My thought process is this: is that Ric Flair. We you know in a past show we said our favorite are the greatest matches of all time, and one of your greatest matches is obviously the trio, which everybody picks is Steamboat
Flair
versus
Steamboat.
Flair, right?
Yeah. Yep.
People love that match.
Yeah.
People love that
They're all
match
good.
so much that 3,000 people
Why do you always
went to the audience that night.
Why was that, by the way? Can you explain that one? Don't tell me no one cared. What was the story? Why was it such a low draw? Was there like a blizzard or something? I don't
Because I'm going to tell you why.
Because it wasn't Hulk Hogan.
Because it was Ric Flair. That's right.
No, stop it.
It was Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. That's terrible.
Look,
who won the greatest Royal Rumble ever? Ric Flair.
he did.
Yeah, he did, especially when he was hiding half the time and Heaton had placed bets on Flair winning. And, where is he? Where is he? I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my mortgage.
That's
that
right.
was one of the greatest. That's my favorite Royal Rumble. Ric Flair was awesome. What about, I'm Sorry I Love You when Sean kicks Rick's head off?
Great.
That's amazing.
Listen, dude, Ric Flair is one of the greats of all time. He is,
So
but I just
great.
have a problem putting him on the same level with Hulk Hogan.
Right. Is it because of box office success? Like when you think of John Cena, do you just think to yourself, the guy just made more money than Ric Flair?
I think when John Cena was on the television, I used to watch.
Okay.
And this is me. Hulk
Okay.
Hogan came on. You're 100% right.
I always watch.
Austin was probably, if Austin would have had a 20-year career.
Right, Austin.
Forget it,
Yeah,
blowout.
Austin
If The Rock had a
probably-
20-year career.
Right.
Blowout.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But that wasn't the
Really
case.
fake.
You think
I don't
the
think so.
Stone Colds,
Yeah.
the Rocks,
Yeah.
and the NWO
Yeah.
made bad guys being cool ruined wrestling.
No, I don't think it did. I mean, we got to the point in pro wrestling where blurring the lines was the way it was going.
But look what's happened to wrestling now. It's ruined. People hate it.
Let's not forget that those people we're talking about back then were characters. It wasn't about the flipping and flopping. And finishing moves weren't the first thing you saw. When Stone Cold hit you with a stunner, 1, 2, 3. And he didn't do it in the first 2 seconds of a match. Kick out! Hey! Cartwheel, like you said 1,000 times. We're in a fist fight at the bar. Up there goes Mike. He's going to kick off the wall, do a somersault, and then lightly touch his toes on the guy's throat.
Say it's the wrestling and the storyline, not the blurring of the lines.
Absolutely. Wrestling storylines today, for the most part, absolutely are lacking. They are lacking. And as far as the physical stuff, come on, man. What happened to storytelling? What happened to a build-up? What happened to holds? What happened to punches truly being thrown? What happened to people going, is this real? I want that back. I want to see that again.
Right.
You know, and if you are going to have a lot of flipping and flopping, you better give me Okada Omega, where they physically destroy each other in between all those flips and flops. Like, really destroy each other. I want to see a contest. I want to believe in that contest. And I'm tired of watching matches with stupid, goofy finishers. I'm tired of being told that I have to believe that a guy who keeps his hands in his pockets is going to kick my
Money in the Bank's already confirmed, right? Edge.
Yeah.
Right? Good match. Live crowd.
That's great.
It's going to be hot.
Roman Reigns' Edge is great. Go on.
SummerSlam. This is a done deal, too.
We got Roman Reigns' Edge, too. Yeah, that's
Right?
good.
So,
What do you got?
John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Wow. I hear a cashier going, cha-ching!
Could you?
Cha-ching. I
The
want to see that.
return of
And
Cena.
But here's the best part. I want to see Roman destroy him.
Yeah.
Oh, Roman, just wreck him, be that tribal heel, kill him, just crush him. Roman has come such a long way. They should have pulled this trigger a long time ago. And I grant the fans at home that there was times where Roman's push as a face was maddening. It was like, oh my God, please. So I totally agree with all of that. But I always saw this coming. And guys at home, come on, be real. They've done this so well. He's got Heyman. He's got the tribal thing going on, the family. And by the way, what has Mr. Russo done again?
Talk about Uso real
I
quick.
wonder how far back I have to
5
go.
times.
I can't anymore.
5
Listen,
DUIs.
someone's going to die.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill somebody one of these times.
He's got to go to jail.
What is wrong with him?
He's got to go to jail.
I'm actually this.
If
is
the
what I
WWE
really
doesn't
do get
fire
upset
him,
about it.
if they do not fire him,
Yeah.
it's utterly. He's got to go. It's almost time for Party with Marty, so I'm going to do the best WCW. By the way, that other show, it's taped. Marty gets high. He mumbles a couple of things about something in the past. The host asks some more stupid questions. He mumbles a little more, and then the show ends. All right, next.
You take my credit card, mother. He's got a nasty right, though, man. He really does. He really does. He's got a nasty right. I hope he uses it on, ball bag from Beantown.